Good morning, everybody. My name is Korra Kiran. Today, my subject is fluid mechanics, and we can see here my topic is pipe friction loss at high pressures. Now, we can see that here we can observe that introduction to pipe friction loss at high frictions. Sorry, pressures. Pipe friction loss refer to the pressure drop caused by the flow of fluid through a pipe. And at high pressures, the friction loss become more significant and requires careful analysis. Understanding this loss is essential for designing efficient piping system under high pressure condition. Here, introduction to pipe friction is nothing but actually a pipe friction loss can have the drop of flow of fluid through the pipe. That is the loss of pipe friction. At high pressure, we can see that there is some of the friction loss become at some time it will be more significant of so that we need to carefully require analysis. Now here we can observe that fundamental of a pipe friction loss. Friction loss depends on flow, velocity, pipe diameter, pipe length, and pipe material. This is the fundamental of a pipe friction loss. And the Drag-Weisbach equation is commonly used to calculate friction loss in pipe. And turbulent flow typically dominates at high pressure, increasing the friction factor. Now we can see that uh, factors affecting friction loss at high pressures. Increased pressure often result in higher flow velocities, which can elevate friction losses. Pipe roughness has a greater impact on pressure drop at a high flow rate, and fluid properties such as viscosity and density influence and friction characteristics. These are the things we can see in the fluid properties at the high pressures. Now, Reynolds number and flow regime. The Reynolds number determine the whether flow is laminar or turbulent in the pipe. Actually, Reynolds number is nothing but determining the whether the flow is laminar or turbulent. And other thing is high pressures tend to promote turbulent flow due to increased velocity. And other point also there we need to understand that turbulent flow causes more energy loss through eddies and friction. Calculating friction loss using Darky Weisbach. The Darky-Weisbach equation related to pressure loss to flow velocity, pipe length, diameter, and friction factor. This is the equation related to the pressure loss with the key parameter like velocity and length and diameter. The friction factor can be obtained from the Colebrook-White equation or a Modi chart. And accurate calculation requires knowing the pipe roughness and flow condition. For accurate calculation, we need to know the roughness and flow conditions for the accuracy means exactly in decimal also. Now, impact of pipe material and surface roughness. Pipe materials like steel, PVC means nothing but chloride, and HDPE have different roughness and coefficient. Rougher surface increase the turbulence and friction loss at high velocity. Selecting appropriate materials can help mitigate excess pressure drop at high pressures. Effect of high pressure on turbulence and friction. Elevated pressures can enhance turbulence levels, leading to higher friction factors. Turbulence intensifies mixing and energy dissipation. And within the pipe only, the turbulence have the higher friction factor because of dispersions within the pipe only. So it have the high friction. And managing turbulence is crucial for maintaining the system efficiency at high pressures. Now, measurement and monitoring techniques. Flow meters and pressure sensor are used to monitor pressure drops in high pressure system. Data analysis helps identify abnormal friction losses or pipe fouling issues. Regularly maintenance of inspection and vital for the enhancing accuracy loss uh, assessment. Design consideration for high pressure systems. Pipe diameter should be optimized to balance flow capacity and friction loss. And material selection should consider roughness and durability under high pressure. This is also one of the consideration of what we call it as high pressure system. And incorporation, pressures relief and control values can help manage pressure drop elevation effectively. And mitigation strategies for friction losses, using smoother pipe material or coating reduce surface roughness. That is also one of thing. And increasing the pipe diameter can decrease flow velocity and also reduce the implementing flow control device ensured a stable operation at high pressures. Now case studies and practical application. High pressure hydraulic systems required precious calculations to minimize energy consumption. Here in hydraulic pressure we have accuracy definitely because of the calculation. Through the calculation only we can minimize the consumption of energy. Oil and gas pipelines often operate under extreme pressures, emphasizing the importance of friction management also. Water transmission lines at a high altitude face unique challenges related to friction loss and pressure controls. Summary and conclusion. Pipe friction loss at high pressure significantly impact the system efficiently and safely because of through the small losses only it sometime it have the significant high impact. So that was one of the summary. Accurate calculations and proper material selections are essential for the effective system design. While we are designing, definitely we have the accurate calculation. That is also one of the thing. Because of calculating accuracy only, we can calculate the losses friction at a high pressure. At the same time we need that proper material selection. That is also one of the important thing. At the last point we can see that ongoing monitoring and maintenance help mitigate the gates of friction losses over time. That is also maintaining ongoing. Once we can recall what we are learning in this session, here the topic is pipe friction loss at high pressures. And introduction to pipe friction loss at high pressure is nothing but we are losing the pipe friction through dropping the flow of fluids in the pipe. That is the friction of losing the pressure. That is the thing we can need to understand. At the same time, fundamental of pipe friction losses is friction loss depends actually only on the velocity and diameter and length and the material of the pipe. This is the friction loss is occur. And we can calculate the friction loss by the equation of direct Weisbach. This equation we can through this equation we can calculate that. Now the factor affecting friction loss at high pressure is mainly we can increase the higher flow velocity because of elevating the friction losses. And other than this is it have the greater than drop at high rate because of the density influence. Also we can see that the properties such as velocity or not, their roughness to the roughness is greater than the given high flow rate or not, we can check it. And Reynolds number is nothing but through the Reynolds number we can say either the or other we can determine the flow of laminar or turbulent. That is the one thing. And calculating the friction loss using the direct vice benches with the purpose of this equation is to calculate the friction loss, and it is related to the pressure like velocity and pipe length, the diameter and the material. At the same time friction factor also very important point, we need to remember that. And other than this equation also we can we can calculate the friction loss like Colebrook White we equation or Modic chart equation. Through this equation also we can calculate the friction factor also, and it will be especially mean we can calculate accurately. It means nothing but accurately means nothing but exactly. And here we can observe that impact of pipe material and surface roughness also exactly because of material only we can see like PVC and HDFC. They have different roughness and they have different coefficient, and they have different friction loss also. And effects of high pressures on turbulence of friction. This is also one of leading for the enhancing the friction turbulent with the system efficiency. And here we can see that the measurement and monitoring techniques. Here the measuring and monitoring system through the sensor we need to monitor pressure drops because of the flow of fluid in the pipe is nothing but they have identifying the abnormal frictions losses, and the design consideration for high pressure system, like it have the determine the pipe diameter, and also it have the capacity of friction losses. At the same time it have like durability under the high pressure. Because of material selection is also one of the thing we can say, we can say that is important, because of it have the coefficient different of roughness. And case study and practical application, it has a case study like hydraulic system. We can see it is a small losses, it will become sometime it will become very significant, or we can minimize so much energy also. And the summary is nothing but it have the impact system of efficiency, and it have safely we need to do, and we can calculate accurately, and the proper material selection also we do, either the material is valid or not, we need to check it. And this is, and at the last slide we thank you.